Hey, it's Miss Lauren, the OT here, and today we are going to make our own puzzles using an empty cereal box or any other kind of box and some scissors. And then optional, you can also use some markers and crayons to draw your own picture on the back of it. All right, so let me get this all set up here. All right, so I have already opened my cereal box completely, but if you have not, I want you to open the bottom end so that you have a cereal box with two open ends. So you can see through the middle of it. Okay, after you do that, try to make it flat. So you're gonna have the box like this, and then I want you to flatten it like that so that you can see one side and the front. Okay, and then what you're gonna do is you're going to use this fold as your line, and we're going to cut along that line. So we're going to take our scissors, the thumbs up, fingers in the bottom, in the bigger hole, elbow into your side. We're going to stabilize with our helping hand, going to hold it with thumbs up, and then we're going to open, line it up, and squeeze. Open, line it up, and squeeze. All right. Try to cut all the way along that fold. And if you need to make a darker line, you can use a marker or a crayon to draw that line first. Okay, so now we cut on one side of the front. So we can open it up, and we have one big flat piece of cardboard that has all the different pictures on it. So you can choose, if you want, you can make two puzzles. If the back of yours is pretty cool and you like that, you can do that. Or if you just want to stick with the front, that's fine. I'm going to make one on the front. So now I have to cut along the folds on all the sides of the front of the box. So here we go. I'm going to use the fold as a guide. And if you want, you can flip it over if that's easier for you and less distracting to have all the pictures there. So you're gonna cut along this line. And again, if you want, you can try tracing that line first so that you can see it a little bit better. We're gonna take our scissors, line them up, squeeze, open, move, and squeeze. And again, you can always move your helping hand if you need to, if it makes it easier. Open, squeeze. The cardboard is good for cutting because it gives you a little bit more feedback when you're cutting, so it's good for learning to cut. And it also helps with strengthening because you have to squeeze a little bit harder to cut. And it makes it easier because it's hard and it stays flat. If you have a paper, it just kind of flops around. It's harder to stabilize. All right, so our helping hand has to do less work, and our scissor hand gets stronger. So again, I'm just cutting along the fold of the box. And if you want, you can trace that line before you start cutting. And then, so for the front of my box, I have 3 of the folds, the sides cut off. I have 1 left. So same thing. I'm gonna use my helping hand to hold, open my scissors, line them up, squeeze. Open, move, squeeze. All around the box. Okay. So now, if you want to, you can draw your own picture and you'll have a double-sided puzzle. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a picture. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to make a flower. You can make whatever you want, or if you don't want to make a picture, you don't have to. So to make a flower, I'm going to start on the edge of my circle. I'm going to do a big curve around back to the edge of the flower, of the yellow circle. Okay, there is my flower. I'm going to color it in a little bit. It's okay if you make it not exactly how you want it. You can always fix it, or you can always try again. Okay. I'm going to color in my flower, try to stay inside the lines as much as I can, but it's okay if I go over a little bit. And remember, if you have trouble holding the marker, you can always hold the cap with your little finger and your ring finger in your hand so that you have your thumb, your pointer finger, and your middle finger free to hold that marker. You're going to pinch with your thumb and pointer, and you're going to use your middle finger, the side of your middle finger, to support it. You can go ahead and color. I'm just going to probably cut some of this. Right, so if you notice, when I color in the big spaces, I can make bigger strokes and I go a little faster, but when I get closer to the edges of my lines, I try to slow down a little bit, go slow and steady so that I can really control that marker and stay inside those lines. Slow and steady. Okay. And again, if you don't want to color yours in, you don't have to. You don't have to draw any pictures if you don't want, but it can be fun. I like to color, so I'm going to draw one. You can draw whatever you want. I think I'm going to make it a smiley face flower too. So 2 eyes that are circles. And color those in. Do a bigger circle around. And then nose. And a mouth. Okay, I'm going to give her a stem. And a leaf. I'm going to draw some grass. So just lines top to bottom along the bottom edge. You can go over your flower, that's fine, if you're drawing a flower. So lots of lines for grass. Now I'm going to do a few different colors of green. And a dark green one here. And if you are drawing a flower like me, it's okay if you don't have the same colors. You can make it any color you want. I have these fun markers that have colors on both ends. I'm going to do some of those. Some dark green. lines. Also gonna put some dark green on her stem, on the leaf. I'm gonna outline it. So trace the outside. And I'm gonna give a line in the middle. Lines going out. Okay. I like using a lot of different shades of colors when I draw. But it's okay if you don't. You can do it however you want. I'm going to draw some clouds also. Use blue for those. So cloud is a curve and a curve. You just keep making curves around for a cloud. I'm going to draw one over here too. Okay. And let me put some birds in there. So I'm going to, let's see, make some purple birds. So when I draw birds sometimes in the sky, I just do a curve and then another curve to make a bird flying in the sky. Put some more around there. That's a lot of birds. Okay, so here's my drawing, and now we are going to make it into a puzzle. So I'm going to take our scissors again. And if puzzles are pretty easy for you, if you do a lot of them, if you like doing them and have fun, you can make it a little bit harder by doing more strips and cutting the strips also. So we're going to start with just doing some strips. We're going to cut from one side all the way across to the other, and it's okay if we don't follow a line. And if you don't follow a line, it might make it a little bit harder, or it might make it easier depending on how you cut. So you can do some different, you can go, so you can make some sharp edges if you want. You can make curvy edges. To make curvy edges, you just have to, you want to try to keep your scissors still and move the cardboard with your helping hand. And if you want to check out the video on cutting, that might be a good place to go also if you're having some trouble with cutting. All right, so I'm going to do one more straight line across. All right, so now I'm going to take some of these and cut the strips. And again, if you just want to keep a few strips, that'll be a little bit easier to do. But if you're really good with puzzles, you like doing them, you can go ahead and cut down the strips further. And same thing, if you want, you can go straight across, or you can go make some jagged edges. Any way you want. So this might be a little hard. I'm doing a lot of pieces here. All right. There we go. So now you have a puzzle. And you've got the picture that you made, and you can flip over the pieces to make the front of the cereal box. I think I made mine a little bit tricky. So we'll see. I don't know if I'll put this together right now or not. But this is the general idea if you want to make your own puzzle. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this together. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to look for pieces that look similar, if they have the same color, same shape. So I'm going to flip over all of my pieces. And so I see some cereal. I'm going to put all the cereal pieces near each other. And this one's got that big red lettering there. These have the big red part with the white letters. So I'm going to put those together. And I see these letters look the same, so I'm going to keep them together. So you just want to look for similar pieces and then try matching them up. And a good place to start sometimes on a regular puzzle is looking for the edge pieces, because they're in a regular puzzle, they're going to be the ones that are always straight, and the corner pieces especially are good to find because they're the ones with the straight edge on both sides. But since we cut these in straight lines, we're going to have a lot of straight lines. There we go. Let's see. And my space right here might not be big enough for me to show you or put this all together on here. But this is the idea. You want to try to see if you can piece back together all the pieces that you cut out. There we go. And then for a really tricky thing, you can try to, if you did make a drawing on the back, you can try to flip over the pieces to make your drawing. Let's see. Okay, this was here, this was here. Yep, so see if you can flip it over. See if you can flip the whole thing over. To get your drawing. It's a little tricky. And if you can, see if you can do it with one hand. So you try to pick up the pieces and flip. There you go. So that's a couple of things you can do with a cereal box, some scissors, and a marker. Right. And if you want to get really tricky, if you don't really like making your own drawing and you just like putting the cereal box together, you can keep a few cereal boxes and then keep all of the pieces together and see if you can sort them out to make all the cereal boxes after having all the pieces together. That's a real challenge. So that was how you make your own puzzle. And again, you can make a drawing on the back of the cereal box, or you can use a few different cereal boxes. You can cut it in straight lines with just a few strips, or to make it harder, you can cut a bunch of different strips and then cut the strips into pieces. You can put a few cereal boxes all cut up together in one bag and try to sort them and then piece them together. That's a good challenge. So however you want to do it, whatever you're feeling up to or what you think you can try, Go for it, and I hope it's fun. See you guys next time.